Hello, YouTube. If you are interested in the theme park world, you've definitely heard about the amazing new theme park opening up soon, Epic Universe. Me and my family have had the very exciting opportunity to go on opening day, May 22nd this year. Because of this, I wanted to go over some of the game plans that we have for the opening day, what we're going to do, and why we decided to do the things that we are going to do for that day. I'm also going to go over the other options for people based on what you want to do for that day, what you're most excited for, and explain a little bit why I think that's a good idea. Now, when planning a trip to any theme park, two things are very important. Be flexible and understand that you may not be able to get everything done that you wish to do, especially on something as busy as an opening day. And two, to pick whatever is your must see items. If there's a restaurant or a ride or a show that you really want to see, make sure you agree with everybody that that is something you want to see and plan ahead to do it. Because of this, me and my family have made two options based on what we want to do and what are our biggest rides. For us, the two major rides are in the Dark Universe with the Frankenstein's Experiment Dark Ride and the Ministry of Magic's Escape from the Ministry ride. Let's get into option one of the game plan for the first day at Epic Universe. Rope Drop is a great time to see whatever event you consider most important. If there's a restaurant, event, or show that you really want to go to, now is the time to run to it. For us, this is the Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry. This is a dark ride that will be very exciting. It appears to be very similar in style to the Minions ride and the Jimmy Fallon ride in that it will be a screen and you will be in a box moving. The reason I predict this is that we have seen some of the screens being used before, and we see in some of the shots that they have shown us of the ride that they have the same seatbelt mechanism as they do in the Jimmy Fallon's ride. Once we get through that ride, we will go to the second most exciting ride for us, which is the Dark Universe Frankenstein's Experiment Dark Ride. This is also a very exciting place and will be very similar to the Harry Potter and Forbidden Journey ride that is seen in Adventure Island. They have shown several animatronics that are very interesting at this time, and they've shown the ride is very similar in safety bars and in the way that it will be moving. You can see this if you go to the Epic Universe store and scan the map, which will show some interactive things on your phone, including the visual of how the ride will work, showing the brides of Dracula following your car, which will be a very interesting thing if it does happen with the animatronics. I'm very interested to see how they will pull off this mechanic. After that, we are going to try to get lunch or breakfast, depending on if we had time to eat earlier. This is a very good idea, which is to pick wherever you would like to go first and maybe check out the menu while you're in line waiting for your rides. The reason for this, it might make it a little easier to get your food, especially if you plan to go to a counter service where you simply order, take your food, and leave. This can be really useful if you're just trying to get food and then get out and go. However, if you want to go to a little bit more slow paced sit down restaurant or quick service restaurant where you can sit but it goes a little bit faster than a full restaurant like the Mythos or Atlantis is going to be, then it can be very helpful so that you don't feel like you don't know what you want or that you are rushed or anything like that, and there's a little less confusion. Once we do that, we're going to enjoy the park. We're going to walk around, see what we see. I do expect there to be fun little surprises. So there may be meet and greets, there may be um, employees walking around showing off cool tricks. We've seen a few people on Epic Universe from drones testing the acoustics in both the Ministry and the Dark Universe, which can be very interesting and might be a very good interactive thing to see. Also, it's very fun to go through the shops and just get immersed in the world that they have created. Now, something that I think everyone needs to plan is a sit down break. You are going to be all day, you're going to be there all day, And if you have little ones, they cannot do that, but also adults, you shouldn't do it either. So I would recommend either planning a snack where you can get your snack at a counter service area and have a nice sit down, or enjoy a nice show. There are currently two shows that I am very excited for, which is one, The Untrainable Dragon. This one I think might be a great idea, especially if you are feeling a little overheated due to the hot days in Florida. And the reason is that if you see the ride in Japan, you can see that it is often indoors. I fully expect it to be indoors this time around. I believe this will make it so that there's a lot more AC, a lot better AC, that it will be a fully sit down experience. This might not be a good place to bring little ones to sleep, as this is a show about dragons, so I do expect some loud roars and maybe some pyrotechnics, as a very big part of this is the giant dragon puppets that they have, which are very exciting but may scare little ones. The other show that I think would be a great sit down spot is Le Cirque Arcanus. Now, I am a little bit worried about it since, depending on which art representation that you've seen of the park, you may see that there are no seats and that people are simply walking around, or there may be only a few benches. So, this place might be very busy and might be very full. The other reason is that it is a circus tent. It is not like a building shaped like a circus tent. It is a circus tent. So AC is most likely going to be there, but not as strong. So if you're feeling overheated, it may not be the best place to go. I also predict that there may be more interactions with actors in there because there are several people who are going to be playing circus performers. So there's going to be acrobatics. I believe there are going to be illusions to show off some crazy magical tricks. And I do believe there will be mechanical animals there to be the magical creatures that Newt has. I would recommend, if you are a little nervous about this, to not go. However, this may be a great way to let your kids have a rest, but still feel very excited and experiencing new things. After that, there's some more walking that we'll do because we probably won't be able to see everything. Dinner or dessert, depending on how much we want to eat. After that, I do believe that there will be some sort of final show that will end off the night. Option 2 is very similar to option 1, except instead of going to the show at the end of the day, we would be riding another ride and staying in line for that when the show starts. The reason this is a good idea, especially if you're not interested in fireworks shows, is because as soon as you are in the ride before the closing time, you can stay in that line until you go through the ride and then exit the park. This can be really helpful if there is a ride that you must ride, or if you are just really enjoying a ride and want to ride it again. This can be really helpful because many people will be at the show and the lines will be less busy. However, you can still stand in that line for a very long time, so don't try to do this if you have a problem with standing in the line for more than an hour. My dad and my sister used this trick to ride Hagrid's motorbike ride. They were still in line for 1 to 2 hours, but they were able to ride the ride. So that is some of the pros and cons. I would not recommend putting your number one ride at the end solely because rides break down. If a ride breaks down earlier in the day and they do not have it up by the end of the day, you can't ride it. And there's more risk of it breaking as the day goes on. So I really would recommend, if you're going to do a rope drop, go to that one at the beginning and then try to ride whatever you can based on your time schedule. Okay, so that is the end of my plans for Epic Universe on May 22nd. If there are any tricks or tips you'd like to tell me, let me know in the comments below. I plan to create more content on Epic Universe, so let me know if you guys want to hear more about this. I'm thinking of doing things like explaining what rides will be like, predictions on how the first day will go, and what will the park be like moving forward, and maybe even some restaurant explanations and what I think might be the best choice depending on what you're doing that week. So let me know what you think in the comments, and I hope you guys have a great day. See you later.